So, you just watched Carnage. What did you think? Oh, but it was this is a mockumentary, so
I was gonna say I think it did well combining, actual facts and humor to get the point across.
definitely.
And I laughed a few times.
Yeah. Do you feel different about Meat now than you did before, or no, you feel the same?
Well, I mean, it's like every time I see one of these, it's for I don't know, a long short period of time, I feel bad and I want to go vegan, but then it kind of ebbs off. So I mean, if I watched vegan documentaries all the time, then the effect would probably last longer until eventually I just wouldn't eat meat anymore.
Yeah. So you need that constant reminder.
Yeah, I think that's the thing with a lot of people. Like, you could show them a vegetarian documentary or something, or like Food Inc., and then like say for a day or a few hours, they'd be like, okay, I want to go vegan, but then the next day or for supper, they end up having hot dogs or burgers.
Because it's habit?
Yeah, so if we could constantly show that, if we could constantly display it, and even like advertisements or something for veganism or vegetarianism, then I think that would be an easier way to not necessarily eliminate um, meat eating, but like definitely dumb it down.
What about, so it's about options, right? I mean, if you go to the store and you really, really want chocolate milk, like the other day, so say you have $5 and you're going to go buy a 1 liter thing of chocolate milk, and there's a cow chocolate milk in the fridge at the store right next to an almond milk, chocolate milk, and you've just seen this show and you've just realized that cows are artificially inseminated and then forced to have a baby, and then the baby's taken away, and then that causes the cow to lactate, and their milk is taken, we'll say forcibly, but are you remembering that when you reach for the cow's milk? Oh, then you're like, oh wow, no, I can't choose that. And then you choose the chocolate almond milk.
After seeing this, that would remind me of that. But
Yeah.
again, like, even for me, after a few days, it would just be like, you know what, go for the skim milk, go for the farmer's skim milk. But
Yeah.
if I could watch something like this on the daily, maybe like every night or every morning,
Yeah,
then
just a reminder.
I would definitely be reminded each time, and I would start to reach for the almond milk.
It would probably help a lot too to have vegan options in the house. So when you're hungry, you have something in the fridge or in the cupboard that you enjoy eating. Like your supper tonight was
Curry rice and green beans.
curry rice and green beans, and you love that.
Yeah.
So you didn't need chicken in it or pork, although if it had been available, you probably would have thrown that in there.
Yeah.
You didn't want the tofu. You're skeptical of the tofu, but
yeah, no tofu.
No tofu yet. But so watching these documentaries, you say it's affecting you internally.
My whole thought process on
somewhat.
meat eating and veganism.
But I mean, as far as this particular one, Carnage, it was the best one you've seen?
It was probably one of the best, just because it was so funny. Like, watching things like, again, Food Inc., it was definitely eye-opening, and it was
dry,
and I couldn't really follow along just because there were some bland spots, even though they were trying to get the message across. But this did well to mix in comedy as much as it did, and it got the point across so well. Like, I was following along with the whole thing.
Who do you think should watch it?
Anybody that wants to become a vegetarian or vegan but doesn't have the motivation to.
Yeah. They want to, but they're just not there yet.
Yeah.
So do you think that people that eat meat or consume dairy should watch this? Just as an eye opener as to what?
At least once show it to them, and if it gets reaction out of them and anything, then recommend more. If it doesn't and they just don't care for it, then leave them be. There's really nothing else you can do unless you want to start a war.
And how old are you right now?
16.
Would you recommend your 16-year-old friends watch this?
I think most of them would appreciate it for it being so comedic, and actually I think a few of my friends are vegetarian, but then others are like hardcore meat eaters. Like
what were some of your favorite parts?
Probably when the guy was being overdramatic and he was beating his head with with condiment.
Yeah, the couple of years of confusion.
And then the next side, he was just passed out on the floor.
Didn't know what to eat, yeah.
And the guy with those, like, new style retro sunglasses going off on rants, just seeing the little messages that people were putting down on the sides.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
What's the one part of Carnage that will stay with you? That when you think of Carnage, this mockumentary that you just watched, what's the one part of it that will stay with you into tomorrow? You'll just think of it.
Probably the way the cows react, like the animals and the cows reacted to being let out of captivity and into an actual field for the first time, and they were just prancing around and loving every second of it.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Okay, so you recommend. How many thumbs up?
Do I have an extra hand that I don't know about?
So what would you give a score of out of 100?
I really didn't see anything wrong with it, so probably solid 100.
A solid 100.